My friend slept with my spouse, and I just found out. She said it was to prove that my husband is no good for me and we should divorce. I'm heartbroken. What should I do?
Trust her.
Well, hold on.
That's our rule.
First of all,
Do
did
it.
you really want? Why did you want to prove that my husband was no good? Was it already because he was coming on to you? Was it because you threw something at him and you knew
Better
he was
use
gonna
your
catch it?
words.
Like,
You
Are
better
there any
use
other
your
facts?
words.
That's all I want to know.
right?
No, that's just kind of the blurb of it.
Ooh, child.
Like because he can go when you can go too.
I mean, did she,
And what are we doing with the friend?
the friend told her, right?
Yeah, I was about to say he can go, the husband, but
Yeah.
you can go too. We're not friends.
We
That's
don't
a real
choose
friend.
violence.
I'd be like, thank you, girl.
Right?
No.
Because if you would have told me,
I'm gonna be like Denzel. I'm leaving here with something.
What was
I'm leaving here with something.
Oh,
No,
that's to be expected.
my friend. You better use your words.
well, I mean, I think that friends know what kind of friends they got. So sometimes you can tell your friend, yo, your girl looking at me, and they be like, no, this is how she is. She's just friendly, right? So then it's like, I mean, me and my friends, and I said this a long time ago. We have a pact. If my girl throws it at you, take it and tell me. Don't tell me that you thought she liked you. 'Cause I don't want no questions.
So Rico wrote that.
Nah, I didn't. But I tell her like, yo, trust the process. Trust the
well,
process.
I feel like that only works if you have that kind of crazy friend pack.
Yeah.
But you don't have to sleep with my husband to prove nothing to me. I'm just saying. I'm gonna take your word for it, to be honest.
Now, what if he says
But
he
you gonna
didn't
stay
do
with
it?
him? If your friend said that your husband flirted with her, would you stay with him?
I would.
I don't know.
That's why she fucked him.
But y'all, there are people, I ain't gonna lie, like I have some friends who if I find out something like that, I can tell them and they gonna believe me and they're not gonna be mad at me or whatever. But then I have other people, friends or whatever, who are gonna like take that information but be mad at me. You know,
I had a friend like that.
kind of like you should stay in your place type thing.
Oh,
But it's like
okay.
I'm telling you because I care about you. You
and
know?
this is why first of all, I stopped being a friend to tell anybody about their man because I literally be falling out with this one friend that I used to have about her man, and everybody in Brooklyn knew that he was cheating on her.
not
right?
the whole Brooklyn.
The whole Brooklyn,
Even Canarsie?
especially Canarsie.
Oh,
He was in Canarsie.
damn.
But there was another one of our friends that was like, yo, my actual homegirl from college who's in like another state was said this and this and, come back to the towns. She got so mad and was like, you're jealous, blah, blah,
See?
blah. And I was just like,
That-
see, this is why sometimes you got to stay out of folk business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should just fucked him.
Nobody
Or
want
not.
to.
Now there's no jealousy at all. It's proof. Like, here you go.
I think it's best not to get involved.
No, yeah. That's
That's probably the easiest thing to do.
It's not the easiest. It's actually kind of hard to do. It's just I think the better thing to do is not to get involved.
Or you can go the Snooki and JWoww route and write the note. You guys watch Jersey Shore?
No.
They wrote a note because they didn't want to tell her.
I remember
her
that.
boyfriend was cheating on her, so they wrote a note anonymously and then they just left it in her room.
Anonymously?
Yeah, like they typed it up on the computer. They left it in her room.
I don't know. I'll say that there are some people who I would take the information to, and then there's others I simply won't. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens and whatever they do with that information, I don't want to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, Erin said, or like don't put my name in
yeah. I
it.
was about to say, no me throwing my name.
Like
in
I
there.
don't want my name in it. I don't want, if you make a decision about staying with that person or not staying with them, I don't want to be brought up in that.
And then
And
it
then
gets
you're the
awkward.
bad guy.
Right.
And it's awkward
Right.
because she's gonna say your name.
Now you got to exactly, and then you got to go around her man when she decides to stay with him, and he gonna be looking like, that's the bitch that tried to break us up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's so
Hello, sir.
crazy?
Hi.
People lie about what they're willing to accept.
All the time.
Like really lie
I
about
don't
what
really-
they're willing
I
I
to
don't
accept.
think
Alan.
that they lie. I think that
For example.
you don't know what's gonna happen until it happens.
Mm-hmm.
That too. That too.
You're still
So
lying.
it's just like in your head, you'll probably be like, if anybody cheat on me, I'm leaving. I'm not staying with nobody until it actually happens to you.
That's true.
And then you don't want to leave because you figure that you can work it out and move past it.
I think people like that are just regurgitators. They don't even think for themselves.
It's like, what's the 5 stages of denial? First,
I think it's the details, though.
what's the 5 stages
Mm.
of denial?
That too.
It's like
That kind of depends on how bad.
Yeah, this the
let me
details.
get it,
Like if
Christopher. You never heard of the 5 stages or 7 stages of denial?
you're talking about the 7 stages of grief,
That's what I was.
I was about
thinking.
to say that's what I know. I don't know if
denial is one of
Yeah,
them.
denial is one of the stages of.
Because I figure you gotta grieve
Y'all,
because
somebody help Alan.
I thought it was it's grief.
You're talking about a healthy person being able to process something, not
It don't
someone
gotta be
with.
processed for you to go through the shit. You're gonna go through it anyway.
No, you're not, because a lot of people get stuck in different stages.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you see what I'm saying? I think when you see the 7 stages, you automatically think that that's what I'm supposed to go through. A lot of people get stuck. You can get stuck in denial for years and don't come, like you just stuck there. So it's a healthy person's ability to process something that they experience.
It's like arrested development, where you
What
get
does that mean?
stuck. You get stuck during your development and you just never move on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's because it's like I'm just thinking out loud, right? I would say to myself, like, if I was in a situation where everything else was working, do I really want to interrupt my life?
That's a good question.
Like, I'm being for real, and I think that as a man, I would get shamed upon that, right? But I'm like, well, everything else is working. I'm good with not interrupting my life. I don't need to go to fucking 5 stages or 10 stages or this and that. Fuck it. Or do I really want to interrupt my whole fucking life?
I mean, but I guess that's based on your choices.
I don't know. I feel like that's you burying an issue. You're burying an issue so you don't have to deal with it. Because you're saying that my life is great. I don't want to disrupt my life. This thing happened. So what I'm going to do instead of dealing with it head on, right? It doesn't have to mean that you leave the person, but you still have to deal with it, right? Right. So instead of saying that, you come to terms with the ability to just say, all right, let me bury it. And then you're going to keep burying things until one day you explode
I
or
don't
you
think
just
you bury
die an
everything.
early
I
death.
think the best relationships are the people who know how to pick their battles.
Of
In my
course.
opinion.
Nobody's disagreeing with that.
Sorry, nothing to offer on that one. I mean, because that actually applies to relationships in general, not just romantic relationships.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's just across the board.
What does it look like to pick your battles, though? Because I don't think
be
people know what that
aggravated.
means.
I guess like you were saying earlier, it depends on the details of it. So say if it's like that serious or not. Sometimes things can be a problem, but like on a very small scale. So it's worth like looking over and like not looking over, but not making like the huge decision to like, okay, I gotta get out of this relationship and go through like the 7 stages. Was I doing that?
Yeah, you come in and out.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, so I think it depends on the details of it because some things can be small, some things can be big enough for you to have to make those big decisions.
Why are people struggling so much with relationships if it's that simple?
Did that sound simple?
It did.
Man, people just slow. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, let's be real. The average American just ain't that bright. We see it every day on the socials, on the news. Like, people just not that bright. Like, people lack comprehension skills. People lack listening skills. People, I mean, and these are basic things. This has nothing to do with emotional regulation, emotional intelligence. This is literally just like, can I listen to you and understand what you said?
Mm-hmm.
And not even just the comprehension part. A lot of people don't know how to say what they actually are intending to say, what they actually intend to, whatever the message that they intend to convey. So I mean, public schools are failing kids, first of all, and that's probably why relationships are not working because people are fucking idiots in the United States, and that's that.
Do you think it's just a public school or like the parents at home have a role to play? Oh, yeah, the other question?
I mean, I pay taxes. Somebody gotta if they not doing their job in the schools, what y'all taking my taxes for?
No, I don't like I'm not a teacher, okay? But
They got a tough job.
they do have a tough job.
We can't
But
blame
I
the
know a lot of
teachers
teacher
in the
I
public
have
school system.
yeah, like they're not responsible to teach your children certain skills. Certain skills.
Reading comprehension?
Oh no, reading comprehension, but when we're talking about in terms of relational processing,
Oh no, that's different though. That's different. But I'm saying
okay.
like the building blocks
Oh,
of
okay.
relationships.
Or you
It's
mean like
basic
the
shit.
simple like listening to understand kind of concept?
Yeah, but they're building blocks. So it's like if you don't know what 1 + 1 is, there's no way that you can understand what 2 × 2 is.
Mm,
Because multiplication is just a variation of addition. You understand
mhm,
what I'm saying?
mhm.
So it's like the building blocks are lacking. And if you lack a foundation, how, I don't know how I don't know how you can reasonably or logically progress. So if you don't understand how to communicate, that's something you learn in school. It's called language arts. If you don't know how to communicate and you don't know how to listen and have context clues, if you don't know how to read and use your context clues to understand all the things you're supposed to learn at the schoolhouse, I don't understand how you can even function in a relationship like romantically. Function in a relationship with a person that you pick or a person that doesn't have to be with you. Your mama got to be there. Your daddy got to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like they gonna deal with your dumb ass, but like other people don't have to. You know, so I think that's part of it. People just dumb as hell.
That's a
Wow.
cold world, though. I mean, it sounds cold, but when you think about it, right, it's also realistic because some people really go out there. We were talking about that earlier. We're saying how delusional people are.
Oh yeah.
People
Yeah.
want. I said to Marie, it's crazy how people want to jump 26,000% in just one leap.
Mm.
Like it's fucking mind boggling. How do you jump? Companies got to do. Oh, we did a 3% growth. These people want to jump 33,000%. Like, yeah, this is the person I'm gonna get. Or this is how I'm gonna. It's just like it's really tough. And then to explain it to people, it's even harder when you have to say, "Hey, grow 3% a year," but it's compounded over time. So your 3 will turn to 6, 6 turns to 9, 9 goes to 18, 18 goes to 36, 30. By the time your 5th or 6th year, you'll see that you had like a fucking 1,000% growth. But it's like, nah,
Math
fuck that.
is not
I need the
great,
1,000
but
today. So, and I think that's the approach with relationships. I need it all to be perfect right away and for a long ass time. If it's not perfect all the time, I don't fucking want it.
I mean, well,
Who wants
you
a perfect
thank you.
relationship?
That was you took the words out of my mouth. Like perfection is the problem. Like, I don't know. I'm okay with 75-25, 80-20, you know.
a little sprinkle.
Yeah. You know, and a little lanyap here and there, you know.
81, 19.
No, I like a little chaos.
I was about to say when some people find that the relationship too perfect, they try to spice it up.
That's
They
weird
try
to
to
me.
Hold on.
like,
That's weird.
I like that.
I've seen that happen. This is too perfect. All right, let me see the phone.
Like that's weird. Like why do you I don't know. Let me not judge those people, but that ain't for
That's
me.
not the chaos I was talking about.
Yeah. That ain't
I've met
Not what I
people
What's your
meant.
chaos? How does Marie do chaos?
Different.
with some wine.
All right, move on. Go ahead.
But I've met people in the past in conversations, and I was just like, and I get it, real high expectations. I didn't think they were realistic, but I also understood it. And I'm talking about this is back before cell phones, when you had to call people in their house.
Mhm.
And it was like, hey, here's my number. Here's my number. Do not call me after 10 o'clock. Any man who's a man is gonna call after 10.
What?
Wait, what?
What the fuck? What you mean I'll call you? I'm gonna call you when I get to the crib.
I don't even understand. What?
Any man
what
who's
do
a
you
man,
mean?
when I gave you my home number, not cell phone, how does that make you a
Cell
man?
phones wasn't popping then.
Right. But it's my house number. I don't live
Like,
on
boy, I'm asleep. Don't call my house after 10. I don't understand. Like, just totally disregarding what the woman has said. or the other person. I won't even say a woman, but
Do
the
you
other
think that
person.
makes me wet
What's
for
a
you?
reality
No.
for somebody to call you before 10? Nobody got home before 10. That's not even realistic.
On a
Alan?
Tuesday?
He just be lying. Look
What?
at him. Look at the smirk on his face. Lying
that's
ass.
not
I
lying.
don't even understand what he meant, number one. I
All
don't.
I'm
Of course,
saying
you
is
guys
like,
don't. He said any man who's a man. I don't expect any of you guys.
Yeah,
to
I don't get it. Can you
Right, so
explain
Because,
it?
like-
Explain it.
So then, all right. So understand that a man calling after 10 has nothing to do with the fact of your rules. It has to do with everything of him establishing that he's going to set the rules. So if I call you after 10, I'm calling you after 10 because it's not necessarily your time. It's going to be on my time or my rules. Now, there's a difference between disrespecting and calling at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But if I call you at 11 o'clock, that is reasonable. Is within an hour. Make the time. You already know that I had to do X, Y, and Z. Most likely already exchanged, our schedules for the day. And this is the time that I'm free. If you cannot extend yourself on the time that I am free, then you're not a woman I'm going to provide for. It's very simple. Because in order for you to want me to do for you, you have to show that you're willing to sacrifice some of your ways for me.
flexibility is important.
That's all right.
Like I said, if
But
I tell
if
you
we-
don't call my goddamn phone at a certain time, don't call my phone. Like
If we if we're talking flexibility, we can talk
Yeah.
about
Why
being
can't you just
flexible, but
communicate
if we're
that?
talking about
No.
any man who's a man is gonna call after 10 anyway, like you're entitled.
I'm sleep.
You
I gotta
discussed
get up
me.
at 4 a.m.
Yeah, what
Don't
if she's
call
a
my damn phone.
doctor or a nurse, a
That's
lawyer?
dumb.
Why can't you
And
just
it's just like,
communicate that?
we on
You
your
can just
time,
communicate that.
But we on my phone. We on
Because-
my house phone. like I'm gonna do this shit on my time. Or whatever time we can both make work. Like, don't be like, it just sounds very
Well,
It's very disrespectful
I don't think it's disrespectful.
and rude.
I agree with what Rico said. Maybe within an hour. I'm not.
Is
saying
that like
9 o'clock
trying
in the
to
morning.
assert dominance?
that's what that sounds like.
It is.
Oh.
It's not just trying to. It's really just setting the standard for certain things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing is perfect. So your rules are not going to be perfect for our day. So if I'm going to sit here and I say, like, all right, you tell me don't call you after 10. And let's assume you're not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So then what's going to happen is, and my day typically ends around 9:30.
No, they don't know.
I didn't
He
talk
said
while
she
you
just-
spoke. I didn't.
No,
I,
no,
I
you're
did
saying
not.
something that's
I
not
did
a
not.
part
I
of
did
the-
not speak while you spoke.
All
That's
right.
all I'm gonna
Just
say.
make up things.
So
that
let's
doesn't
say
go
if I'm
on.
calling you because of whatever reason, nobody gets home at 10 o'clock. Especially back then, you got a lot of other shit going on, right? So if I call you when it's convenient because I've already had whatever day, that is what it is. I might have chilled for 2 hours. I might have got home at 8 o'clock, but I might have decompressed for 2.5 hours and then called you. And now you're gonna tell me I can't call you at 10:30?
Well, then
I
that's your
think
fault.
no, I think you
No, it's
guys
not, 'cause
like
it's still gonna.
Decompressing for 2.5
It's
hours.
still gonna happen.
I think you
It's
guys
just
like
reality.
games and power struggles. Cause maybe not dealing with a
That men do.
adult woman. I don't know. Like that's like games and a power struggle. If I'm like, oh, and I think it's the delivery. Don't call me after this certain time, right? Why? Because I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm in bed by like 9:58. All right, babe, I'm not gonna call you. And I'm like, nigga, don't call me past 10 p.m. Then you're gonna test the boundaries because you're like, stop playing games with me. Cause I like that's
Can I?
a power struggle
Can I say one thing?
to me.
You're right, but the way Alan proposed this was that
Any man.
these people aren't dating. He said, I asked this woman for her number. She says, don't call after 10. So there is no, you know this about me. You don't know that about me. It ain't none of that. Literally, we're two strangers. Hey, here's my number. You asked for it, but just, don't call after 10. I wake up early.
Not the stranger. Just don't call after
You
10.
threw that I wake up early in there. I don't know. You don't know if the
No, I
person
don't-
woke up early.
No, that
But
was
all
me.
you had to know was that she said don't call after 10. And if you made it a point to do that on purpose,
Yeah.
then
would I do
your
it on
chance
purpose?
is gone.
Yeah, that's when if you
Your
don't do it on
chance is
purpose,
gone.
that's fine.
Yo,
Oh Lord.
your chance is gone.
So
I don't know. That's like somebody
What
saying.
was funny about that?
I have no energy to argue with foolishness today.
It's so crazy to me. Like
You
if
want
I,
some
it's like somebody. Let's say
energy
you aside,
stuff?
right? Say if you aside,
That's
and he was like, "Yo, don't call me after you need some Alka Seltzer."
or water.
I don't know.
Marie's is crazy.
I just think these people, the way you presented it was just that,
Stranger.
you ask a woman for her number or whatever. She gives it to you, say, hey, could you, not call after 10?
So what I'm trying to say or asking in general is that don't you feel like sometimes people have too many rules, not just in relationship, in life in general? It's too many restrictions.
Boundaries or rules?
No, not boundaries, just rules. All these rules and
Like
rules
what,
and
Alan? Could you
rules.
give us an
Don't call me
example?
after 10. You gotta be on time when we go out. That isn't that.
Rico says that though.
First of all, the don't call after 10, like, come on, that's a personal rule. That's not like a relationship kind of rule. Like a relationship rule that I feel like is kind of dumb is like, I'm not going to invite you inside until like the third date, or I'm not going to sleep with you until like after 3 months or something like that. Like those are
Oh,
you being strict,
being
like,
rigid.
You being,
That's
like,
what
you're
I'm
doing
asking.
too much.
Or I'm not spending no money on you until such and such time.
Yeah, until we're like
Until-
established, until we're a
Yeah.
thing, then I'll pay for the date. Like,
But what I'm
that's too
asking,
much rules.
but those rules, you put it in the word of being strict. But do you think some people strict themselves out of a relationship, meaning that you've been strict all this time and you still single?
Yeah.
Still failing.
Think like, say if you grew up in a house and like you were reared, by your parents in a way such that you have become a prude. Not just a prude sexually, but just a prude in general. Oh, I don't do this. Or, oh, I don't do that. Or, oh, blah, 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 whatever. Shut the fuck up. Like that kind of stuff. Like, I think that's a huge turnoff to a lot of people, whether it's friends, whether it's a romantic relationship, the people at your job. Trust me, you get on their fucking nerves too. Like, all of that. So I just think that, like, you got to, like, strike a balance somehow when it comes to your standards and, like, some of the so-called rules that, that you live by. Like, I mean, like a nice set of 10, 15 life rules is cool. But
What they don't be doing.
That 30-day rule, the 90-day rule.
I think people struggle with shame.
shame.
And I
What you
think
mean?
I think what happens with a lot of people is that, especially if they grow up and then they're a prude or they say, I don't do that, it's rooted in something,
Oh, okay, I got you.
right? And so for you, if sex was shamed in my household, right? And I go out and I have sex with somebody on the first date, I'm going to have a whole internal situation in my head. Oh my God, I'm a whore. Da, 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 da. There's this whole thing happening.
Yeah.
So I think part of the reason that people have those types of things is because they deal with shame.
That's a good point.
That was just my thought.
It's true. 'Cause honestly, as Erin was talking, I was just like, these are the people whose parents be like church religiously
It'd be the worst.
on Sunday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be the worst.
What do you mean, the streets?
No.
The
like,
preacher's daughter?
Yeah. It'd be the kids that have to go to church with their parents because their parents are holier than thou, so they feel like they need to be holier than thou.
No. It's the opposite. Like PKs, like those be the worst ones.
You call them PKs?
Preachers'
kids. Okay, so you have some of them that they look for their wild night. They're the wild ones, right? But then there's some that's just like, I love the Lord and I can't do that, and we're not allowed to do that. And yeah, I don't really drink like that. No, so I'll just take a sip, but that's okay.
Not take a sip.
Yeah.
You either drinking or you're not.
Right.
I think the only thing that kills men is that they don't have rules. That's the only thing that kills them. They don't have any rules. They don't have any boundaries, and they can't put their foot down. So a woman walks all over them. Then they start feeling like they're being used, and then they have a self-conflict. It's all an internal argument with himself about this person is using me because the friends are saying that she's not. He thinking that she isn't, but then a part of him thinks that she is. He's not getting what he wants out of her. And so what ends up happening is, it just ends up not working. So I think when a man has rules, 9 times out of 10 is in his benefit. There are some absurd rules, right? Like if she don't text me, I'm never going to speak to her again. That's kind of crazy. But, if you give her 3-4 days and you try it again,
They don't mean it.
if you do it 3 or 4 days and you try again and she doesn't respond, then maybe she's not interested. But I think when men are too like willy-nilly with the process, they ended up not knowing where they stand. And when any man can't figure out where he stands in any situation, he gets uncomfortable. And once he gets uncomfortable, he gets insecure. And then all these different types of things happen within his own self. And,
Internal.
it pours out. Yeah, it pours out into whatever that relationship is. So in order for a man to really have a successful relationship with anything, he needs to have rules because he needs to know where his footing is.
Is that when a guy is like vested in the relationship? Or is that just any girl?
Any girl.
Any girl?
Any girl, because every situation is different, but every situation has different rules. Right? It's like, a sport is a sport, but there's still different types of games that are within the sport that require different rules. So if you're dating a girl who is just, let's just say she's a hoe, she's outside, she's, what I'm saying, those have a different rules. Right? Like one of the rules is you don't kiss those girls. That's a golden rule.
Is it the type of kid? How does that work?
Now, any kiss, you don't
Why
kiss
don't
them
you
on the
guys
lip.
kiss them?
You do not kiss them on the lip.
I
Why?
don't know what's on their lip.
Well, realistically, kissing is intimate. So
Oh, okay.
kissing brings a different type of like chemistry to sex.
That's why I thought guys didn't kiss those girls because you thought she probably gave head to somebody before she saw you.
I mean, that's just that's like the young minded. But like when you get older, you're not kissing girls because it's like if I kiss you, I love you, and usually I represent myself with my mouth. So I'm not gonna be putting what I represent myself with on you, and you're not worthy of it. So that's kind of like the psychology that we were growing up on.
Oh, okay. I always thought that's
I
why.
agree with what you're saying. Like, I feel like in order for you to like have a successful like dating life, like you have to have some kind of rules and boundaries for yourself. I feel like everybody should. But do you like express what they are,
Mm.
or do you just like have them internally?
I think that makes a difference. I didn't even think about
Because
that.
that will probably make your partner or whoever you're courting at the moment probably think you're strict if you like tell them all
That's
your
true.
rules.
I don't do this.
Yeah. Or
And if you do this, I ain't
Yeah.
fuck with you.
Isn't
mean,
it
the
how
thing
you
is, everybody
deliver
wanna
it?
force relationships, and that's the problem. So if you force relationship, you hide your rules, and the only thing that happens is eventually those rules are gonna pour out, and then those rules you're gonna find is a power dynamic within your relationship with that woman, and then next thing you know, you find yourself compromising, and when a man finds himself compromising too much, that's when he starts getting into his own head, and so I rather let you know my rules and boundaries up front. So guess what? If you can't deal with it now, you wasn't going to deal with it later. And I'm not here to waste my time or your time. You know what I'm saying? So now there are some rules that, don't get me wrong, you are willing to compromise. But you gotta you have to literally you gotta show your hand. Like the best way, and this is just how I use my life. I mean, this is what I use in my life. This is a direct approach. I don't have time for you to try to guess who I am or what I stand for. I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to know. You're not going to like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to like everything about you either. But there's some things I can live with and there's some things that I can't. Right? And as long as all those, boxes could get checked that we can move forward, then we move forward. If not, I'm not forcing it. I'm not going to be like, well, you know what? I can see if I can live with the fact that you make me late everywhere I go, knowing that I hate being late every time. Right? So like, it's just some things that you got to really stand on and really hold your backbone with. I think when you start to let it waver, that's when you start questioning yourself, especially from a man's standpoint. I'm not speaking for women, but in a man, when you start feeling like, yo, I can never just like stand my own ground. Every time I make my stance, I move to the left, I move to the right, and next thing I know, I lost my footing and I don't even know where I belong. And then that's when everything falls down for him. Not just his relationship, his business, his self-esteem, even his body shape. Like he might get, he might have been fit. Now you see he gained 25 pounds. And it's like his habits start changing. Everything for that man goes out of whack. We are foundational creatures. We need our foundation to be what it is. Everybody's different, but if we don't have it, that's when the whole building will fall down.
But don't you
I
think
agree
it's
with
an
that.
option thing though? Like, I think if a guy has options, he can have those strict boundaries, right? But if he doesn't feel like he has options, I think he's willing to compromise on a lot of more rules that he has for himself.
I want to change that word options with value. Like if he has self-value. Like some people, for example, we had went to Angie Martinez podcast, right? And Rich Paul was the guest, right? And he turned down, I believe, a $7 million deal
Mhm.
for Bledsoe, right?
Mhm.
And at that time, it was a lot, and people questioned why would he do that? And he said, the thing is, I turned it down because it's a lot of money if you look at it from the numeric standpoint, but if you look at it from the value standpoint, it's not a lot of money because he's worth way more, right? Eventually, he got what his value was.
Mhm.
So you could have undersold yourself, or you could hold out until you get your true value. So I don't think it's an option thing. There's some men who got a lot of options but are worthless. You know what I'm saying? There's some men that got no options, but they hold themselves to the same standpoint as the person, with all the options, and they end up getting the right person. I got a friend, y'all probably seen him, and everybody always asks me, even himself, like, when we go out and we travel and everything, they be like, how does he get girls? Like, he's not the flyest guy. And it's like, but he thinks he is. He operates like it. He moves like it. He walks like it. He talks like it. And if it looked like a duck, it quacked like a duck. It's a motherfucking duck. You feel me? So like, and when you know your value, then you don't necessarily need options to validate you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna hold yourself to that standard, and you're gonna get whatever it is that you want. It might take you longer, but you're gonna get it.
So moral of the story is we need rules. Fuck what I said. We need rules.
Rico might have his own set of rules that'll work for him being successful with dating, and Erin same. Me same. I don't think there's a general rule book that everyone has to follow.
That's true.
I think there's a blueprint to your rules. Like, I don't think that rules.
Is there a
I don't-
dating blueprint?
Yeah, there's moral rules, morality. But then we also have a lot of people who struggle with the fact that they make rules based on their traumas.
Mm.
And it's like, this rule is here because of my trauma. And if you break this rule, it triggers me. That means you're still walking unhealed. That's why you have this new rule. You know what I'm saying? So when you have somebody who has mad rules based on their traumatic situations, it's like, it makes it hard for you to even operate with that person because you're walking on eggshells the entire time. Because even if you make a mistake, right, which happens, it's like, it's the end of the world because for them, it's such a bigger situation than what it really is. So
Mhm.
like, if I have like a moral rule, which is just like, hey, I like to be on time everywhere I go. Be on time with me. I want to bring you along. I'm extending, the invitation in the hand because I want you to be my plus one. Don't make me late whenever I go places. That's just a moral rule. That's a good habit rule. But if I say, don't leave dishes in the sink, right? And you leave dishes in the sink and I start spazzing because when I was a kid and I left dishes in the sink, I got my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's some rules that are just trauma based, which I think are just not good,
Don't leave dishes in my sink.
Got in trouble with Aaron when you was
Actually,
young?
no, I don't care. I actually don't care about dishes in the sink. I'm just being whatever.
But you know how
'Cause they'll
Biggie
get done in the morning.
had the 10 commandments. There's rules to this shit. I wrote me like, don't get high off your own
Crack
supply. The 10,
commandment.
Yeah.
I noticed he left that out.
right? So
The
Biggie
crack.
had
Big
rules,
song.
but anybody that was in the streets at that time, all his rules in that
It's a real
song
thing.
did really make sense, right? Never sell no where you rest at. I don't care if they want an ounce, tell them bounce, right? So all of that made so much sense. And if you listen to it and you were a street hustler, if you just follow those basic 10 rules, you were probably gonna be a little bit more successful.
So where's the person making the rules right now that we could just
8 at
follow
the
like
table.
Biggie?
This is what we're asking 8 at the table.
Okay.
What is the dating blueprint? What are the rules? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got one.
go ahead.
All right. Rule number 1: quit lying.
Mm.
Be truthful.
Stop fucking lying. Be honest about your intentions. Be honest about what you're doing. Be honest about what you're looking for. Because if you and the other person are not looking for the same thing, why are you wanting to push something on somebody that doesn't want what you want?
Right.
Like, why? I don't understand. Don't lie. Just stop fucking lying. Stop. That's rule number 1.
Rule number 2, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to everybody wants to be somebody else. You know what I mean? You got guys that want to be Andrew Tate. You got guys that want to be Lil Baby. Right?
But
You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, they don't align with either or of them. Right? Like their own spirit don't align with it.
Mhm.
So walk your own path. Women, you too. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself. You don't need to be like Meg.
Can you be yourself and not divulge a bunch of unnecessary information about yourself? Like some people over inform people when they're dating them or when they're seeing them.
Yeah, you just gotta let no people talk too much. Let the other. I don't know. I personally believe that I don't know. I guess I kind of live my life like this. Like when I speak, I could literally sit here and talk to somebody all day, and they probably only learn 2 things about me,
Facts.
Time by.
like where I'm from, and like that I own a Honda
She
Civic.
probably said it 10 times.
A Honda CRV, sorry. I like it's just crazy. Like, but some people when they talk to you, they go in. I mean, everything. Like their mama, their daddy, like they give you their home address,
Social
like
security number.
that they cheat on their taxes. Like, I mean, just where they work. Like, why'd you tell somebody where you work where you just met them? Like, I don't get it. So I'm just yeah.
On
Yeah.
a
I
need
don't
to
know. I
know.
wouldn't even think about that too hard. I'm not trying to be secretive, but I don't really think that one sitting means like tell you my whole life story. I mean, if this is a good thing and we're going to be continuing to see each other, we have a lot of time to get to know one another. So I feel like maybe it's, I don't want to say weird to like overindulge about yourself. Like, because I mean, it is you. They're going to know things eventually, depending on whether you decide to keep seeing them or not.
I think that that's something that maybe anxious people might do a lot. Like they're
Put too much
anxious
out there.
and there's verbal diarrhea. It just
Oh.
won't stop because they're so
They
anxious.
don't know what to
and
say.
Yeah.
Is that why some people?
I thought it
Some
was just
people.
insecure.
Right, like
Insecurity,
"Ooh, it's
too.
getting
It's just
quiet.
like I don't got to prove
Well,
myself
my daddy
to
used to
you.
beat me.
I would be like, what? Why would you tell me that?
There are some people that are way too open.
No, there are people, y'all know these people at the office place, they want to tell you everything. I just never understand that. Never understood it. I don't care that your daughter has a drug problem.
Whoa.
Why
And
would
why
you
are
even be telling
That's what I-
anybody that?
Dude, that's what I be wondering. Why?
Because they need help.
But why they telling me? I can't help
Because
them.
they're anxious.
I
And
think
it's just
people are
like, ugh.
They're just desperate.
I don't get it.
First
like,
of all, you need to go get your daughter a lady. And actually, the whole family needs to see a lady, actually. You just stop telling people around the office your business.
Rule number 4: stop wanting what other people want.
wait, what was
We didn't get
three?
number-
Did you
who's
get
number
number 3?
Yeah, mine was
Yours was
That
number,
That was number 2.
be yourself.
Yeah.
There was another one.
But can
right?
you do number 3? Because you said something really that was brilliant. You said that people need to heal themselves so that
was
they're
gonna
not
say that
leading
as
with their
number 3.
trauma.
Heal. Leave all your past traumas behind. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to, well, it is not a good idea to come into a new relationship having, problems and traumas from your old relationship, still having trust issues. Well, maybe that sometimes don't really go away, but don't come with trust issues because your last person did this and that to you. This is a new relationship. Give it a fresh start. Give it a fair chance.
Agreed.
Rule number 4. I would say stop wanting what other people want. And I think that's like people see other people happy living their truth, and then they automatically deem that to be their truth or deem that to be their reality or what it should be. And they chase after something and strive for something and build towards something that most likely could be unfulfilling.
Mm.
And then they wonder why, they're at where they're at and why it's not working for them. It's really because that path that you decide to take was paved by somebody else and it was not yours.
Mm.
So tune out the noise, figure out what it is that you truly desire and what you want to, achieve in your life and work towards that.
How do they, because we're influenced by so much. So what does that look like if you can kind of expound on that?
I think, like, for me, if I had to answer that in a personal aspect, I only do what really brings me absolute joy. And I think if you focus on what brings you joy, not just happiness, because happiness comes and goes. You make $1,000, you're only happy at that $1,000 for 3-4 days, some people even longer. And then if you keep the $1,000, you learn that you're not as happy as you are when you first got it. That's how you know it's happiness and not joy. I think joy is everlasting. So like if
Amen.
if I give somebody something or helping somebody do something or helping somebody become something, for me that brings me joy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when I can separate the two and differentiate them, then I know if I just work on what actually brings me joy, that's going to make me feel full and whole as a person later on in my life.
Mm.
And I think that's what we got to focus on. People be focused on other people who maybe Alan making money brings him joy. So I try to make money like Alan, but money don't make me happy. Like so if it doesn't bring me joy. So if that is the case and I work my whole life to become a millionaire and I get to the top and I'm like, "Oh,
You was
I'm no
following
longer
some-
happy. I'm no
I
longer
just want to paint pictures.
Yeah, you was following somebody else's dream.
Exactly, or somebody else's desires. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I think that's the best way to kind of filter through and sort out what is going to be for you. You know what I mean? Some dudes need their girl to cook and clean. Some dudes want to cook and clean for their girl. Right? I can't understand the second option. But but everybody has their own path. Walk on yours. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. I'll end with number 5. For number 5, I'd say be the best version of yourself. And by that, I mean, if you know you're on the dating market and you know some of the past mistakes that you've made or some of the missteps that you've made or some of the poor judgments that you've made in the past, make sure that you address those things so that you can feel good about yourself. You're putting out the absolute best version of yourself, such that if somebody turns you down, you be like, oh, you're bad, because I think otherwise sometimes that'll really kill some people's esteem. But if you know you putting your best foot forward, it's your absolute best product. It
Mm-hmm.
don't matter what nobody else has to say. It's like if I'm a dope dealer and I got the number one drug and somebody around the corner say, "Oh, that shit whack." I don't care.
Right.
I know this is the best product. It's kind of like the whole Joe Budden and Drake.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Drake feel like he has the absolute best product, and because he's been making the best products for quite a while, he's like, Joe Budden, how dare you? Because you don't know, you've never made it. So how can you tell me that this isn't the best product? So I think going forward in dating, you just have to be the absolute best version of yourself. If you feel like you got bad skin, go see the derm. You feel like your teeth fucked up, go to an American dentist.
An American
Like
dentist.
the nationality.
That needed to be said.
An American dentist.
I mean, because the thing is that if something mess up and you over here like an American orthodontist or American, dental surgeon really ain't gonna want to fix your teeth. But anyway, if you feel like you have like social anxiety, somehow work on that so that you don't freeze up when you talk to other people, when you talk to, people of the opposite sex. Like you just kind of have to.
We're the same.
Yeah, sorry.
Or the same,
Or just people that
Amanda.
you're interested in. Sorry, Amanda. All for the gays. No, I'm joking. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so just be the best version of yourself. I mean, and I do think that relates to one of the things that Rico said. Because when you're your best self, can't nobody tell you nothing.
Can you guys just throw in like some practical guides in there? Everything you guys said, all 5 rules are incredible. They're really incredible, and I was captivated. Captivating listening to it and everything else.
Okay.
I wanted to find out like some practical guides. Like for example, go to your first date clean. Make sure your car is clean. Make sure your clothes clean. Make sure you take a shower. Like, and if you're married, make sure you do that. Like, what are some practical?
Wait, if you're married, don't go on a date.
No, I'm talking about like let's just say someone's watching this, right? For the people that are watching this, I want to know something like practical. Like if Rico said to me, and I'm 22 years old, I'm just starting out and going out into the world, and Rico says, "Listen, don't go on a first date if you don't have all the money that you need for that date, or pick a cheaper place." That's just practical moves that will make you successful. And Erin says, "Listen, don't lie to yourself that you ain't gonna fuck. If you are, make sure you wash up and you shave.
And bring a
When you get in
condom.
that place, you might get uncomfortable."
That
Like,
Depends
what are
on
some
if you gonna fuck
practical
or
guides?
not.
I think a good
What?
practical guy that could go both ways is, and no pun intended, be open minded to everything, but attached to nothing. And I think if you walk with that, ideology, whatever this person that is in front of you is presenting, you can be open minded to it. And you're not attached to your old habits. You're not attached to the old outcomes of whatever it could be similar. And you're not attached to, the success or the failure aspect of whatever is current in front of you. So then what can happen is you allow it to actually happen naturally. I feel like when we are attached to the potential failure, we catastrophize the date or whatever it could happen. Or when we're attached to the success of it, we get too anxious and too giving, and we just start to pour into something without even vetting it properly. So just stay open minded throughout the process and attached to none of it until it presents itself to be what it actually is. I think if you do that, whether it's the first date, second date, third date, whether you're a guy or girl, then you could put yourself in the best position to win.
So don't assume what it is. Let it blossom in front of you.
And be like,
you
this
could-
the one I'm gonna
Yeah,
marry.
don't assume what it is, and don't push it to the, like, I think,
Just let it be.
yeah, a lot of people, like, you can't come to, this is just regular standard business, right? And just life. You cannot bring the same exact mindset and expect a different result. Okay? So if you are not having successful relationships, whatever it is, and you go on this date, right? And you bring that same ideology with you on this date, it wasn't working 10 times. What made you think that mindset and that character was going to work on the 11th? It's not working. So what you need to do is let it go. Unattach yourself from that old way of thinking. Tap into something else. Pick up a book. Get you some new friends. Get you a mentor, something, you feel me, to try to help add and fine tune who you are and what you believe in your mindset, because whatever you currently have is not it. It's not it. In business, they say don't get attached to if you keep on pouring money into this store and you know your store is costing you money every single year, you're going to end up dead from a stroke. Not even broke, dead. not even broke, dead. So you got to let it go.
Put in the effort, plan it fully. Look for the date place, the venue, the dinner, wherever you're going to take this person. Make sure you have enough money. Make sure everything is set out and perfect so that she doesn't have to do, or he doesn't have to do, any of the work. You come prepared.
Yeah, preparation is good.
Yeah.
And I think I touched on this earlier about putting your best foot forward, and you sort of mentioned this. Like, wash your ass when you go on a date. Some of y'all don't be hitting them crevices.
Imagine you have to tell them.
I was about to say, not that we had to tell y'all.
They belly button be smelling like earring backs. Like they not hitting in between the toes. Like, I'm just saying, like, wash your ass.
You might get your toes stuck.
And bring a condom.
Yeah, and be safe. Bring a condom. Bringing a condom means that's part of putting your best self forward.
Never mind. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm about to
bring a condom.
And I feel like if you are like, wear something comfortable. Don't be like wearing something that you got to pull down and you got to keep adjusting and you got to, just
sweat.
Yeah, like if you be sweaty, wear some of them arm pads. Because you're going to be self-conscious about it the whole time.
And you're going to sweat
and
more.
There's nothing worse than being on a date with somebody who's self-conscious. Like, we see you.
What is arm pad?
Like, I'm watching you fix your jacket. I'm watching you constantly pull up your shirt like this. Like, I know you uncomfortable. And even if the clothes is comfortable, you are uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like, yo, that'd be crazy. I'd be watching.
Yeah, like, be comfortable, because all that is just adding extra unnecessary stuff to, like, the date that just, like, there's no, like, why? You know what I mean? If you gotta go in sweats and a nice little cute shirt and some Jordans, wear that. Like, you don't have to have, something that's too short where you pulling it down.
Hold on,
all
where
the
we
time.
going?
Or too medium shirt.
Where are we going?
But yeah, but make sure you're prepared as well. So take as much time as you need. If you know you need to wash that hair you ain't wash in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Take the time to wash that hair that day.
Don't be.
And Make sure you
In there,
picked out the
yeah.
outfit. Make sure you picked out the outfit so you're not rushing at the last hour trying to figure out what you finna put on.
Yeah.
Word.
And I think that, in a sense of what you guys are saying,
Talking to
I
myself.
feel like don't force a connection. If there's no connection, it's okay. You'll connect with the next person.
Yeah.
Like you
Maybe.
don't have to force a
The
connection.
next person.
You're valuable enough that if you move on, you will find it. Because when you're on a date, you know when there's a connection. Like you don't gotta try so hard to find a connection. I think, in my opinion, you'll connect with the right person. Because I think that's when desperation kick in. You will be like, I gotta find a connection. There's no Wi-Fi here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but also those same people gotta tap in with themselves. If I feel like when people go on a date and it don't work, they be quick to say, "Oh, they was trash, they was lame, all of this." Right? You was trash, maybe.
Facts.
Maybe you were the reason why y'all wasn't connecting. So check in with you. Don't be quick to blame the date on why it went downhill.
Now you know anybody gonna finna do that.
But
They
that's
should.
No.
but that's why they
should.
there.
I
You know what
agree,
I'm
they
saying?
should, but
That's
like,
You were expecting her to hold up all the conversation, but you was as quiet as a mouse. You wasn't saying nothing.
y'all. I
You
mean,
wasn't giving no convo.
I don't know. Y'all know accountability is hard these days. So while I agree with you,
unrealistic.
I just
It
don't
is
know.
definitely
how
not
many-
unrealistic.
How many people would actually like take that advice to heart and like really implement it? That's all I'm saying.
Stop taking
Then
it
we
so
go-
personal.
They started calling
Yeah.
it victim shaming.
What?
That's what does that fall into there?
The victim shaming?
Like if we tell them
No.
that they were the reason why it didn't work.
victimizing yourself, but
Yeah.
it's not a victim.
That's not victim
I don't think
shaming.
it's shaming. But
Just don't take it so personal. And I think
Bro,
that's
sometimes
part
Maybe
of
you
it.
just wanna have
should
some
take it
shots and a
personal.
good
No,
time.
don't
Like,
take it so
personal.
personal.
Like,
Oh yeah, take it personal with
Yeah, you
yourself.
take it personal, maybe
personal,
you'll-
personal.
No,
you'll-
take it
you'll
personal
change
with
something.
yourself, but don't take it
Yeah.
like it's
Like
an-
maybe
yeah.
because sometimes some girls just talk too fucking much,
I agree.
and I'd be like, "Yo, you know you talking too much, right? Like
on the date.
on the date, like you just
You say that?
Because they're probably nervous.
And I hate I mean, this is just me, so I'm not gonna say everybody, but I can't stand shallow conversations. Don't come. I have a short time frame for shallow conversations, and I can't fake like I care about it.
Like the weather.
Like gossip?
Whether what happened?
Like gossip? Celebrity gossip or something?
Recent gossip. Hey, did you hear
Gossip.
what happened with
I mean,
so-and-so this
I'm not.
morning?
I'm not. Don't tell me about Tyrese and his baby mother. I don't care. Like you know what I'm saying. You can ask my perspective. That's different because it kind of gives insight on how my mind thinks and how your mind thinks. But like shallow conversation, I just cannot do it. It's just something that I just never was good at. Like that's when I start getting real quiet.
Hey, you like this?
How
Just
about,
blinking and shit.
And I kind of think that you're low key a little slow. Like because there's no depth to you. At least I can't see it. So
Public school.
how about this one, Rico? Question. How about when people go on a date, either Marie always says there's two extreme left and rights. Like either they're too serious or they're trying to be too cool. Like they go on a date, they're too serious, talking too intellectual, too much stuff, but too serious, or somebody's trying to be too fun. Come on, let's have shots and let's have
But if
that.
that's them,
I like having fun though. That's different.
Everybody wants to have
Well,
fun.
Everybody
you-
wants
you
to
can't
have
come
fun,
off
but
like a
you can't
creep.
force it. Like if it's natural, you feel it. Like it's like you're going with it. But it's like, come on, take a shot. I said no. Like,
Oh yeah,
chill
that's
out.
when it gets creepy. Yo, I've seen
no,
that. I've
I
seen
won't
that
do a
happen.
line of coke with you.
Right.
And then he's like, "Why?
Right.
What's wrong with you?"
Now you like it's just coke.
He's like,
Right.
don't you want to go to the bathroom real quick so I could, like, calm down, dude. Like,
No, I don't.
relax.
I just want to sit here and have this little cocktail.
So then maybe you should do your bump before the date. Like,
Practical advice. There you go.
do your
Or
bump before the
after
date.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be on a date with no.
Can't go
cocaine.
too
You
hard.
won't even know sometimes. Some of them
Right,
is
they
really
probably
good.
need it. He
You probably be like,
need
"Wow,
it.
he's really good guy." Like that nigga's high.
And then to keep up with that personality every time, then he gotta every time he sees.
But he
me.
does it already.
Yeah, he is every time.
You
you
gotta go
see
sugar his booger.
him.
Is that a turn off if somebody show up to a date smelling like straight weed?
For me, yes. I don't even.
Yeah.
I think if I see a yo, it's something about visually. If I watch a woman
Ew.
hold the blunt, it's unattractive.
Um,
If I watch a woman hold a blunt, or even a cigarette because I don't like cigarettes, but especially a blunt, like I'm kind of old now, right? Not really, but like I'm older than
Yeah.
21 for sure. Back in the day,
we all know how
women
old you
smoke
are.
like this,
They do too.
men smoke like this, right?
Cigarettes?
Yeah, like when you smoke, women smoke with the peace sign, and men always smoke like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I see like that's how it was 2000, 2002, 2003, 2000. So as a kid, I'm like, oh, you could tell if a guy smoked like this, it was a little sus. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know.
So you know what I'm saying? A little sus.
That's so
Right?
let
But
me-
now when I see something about it, when I watch a girl smoke a blunt like this, I just be like,
I mean,
ew.
typically
Well,
that's
if
how
she
it
smokes
is.
it like this,
Like this.
if she
If
smokes
hold
it like this,
it's a little bit more class to it.
That's
And I'd be
really how
like,
people smoke,
I would just
though.
tell her, I'd be like, I don't like the way you smoking. I don't like the fact that you smoking, but I might be able to be more tolerant. But if I watch a girl do this, I feel like she might as well just sit with her legs open. Like,
But that's how people smoke. I remember when I first
no, that's how
started,
they smoke now.
like okay, well now, but I remember like back in
Excuse
high
me,
school
can
when
you
I
readjust
first
your
like started
blunt?
smoking, right? I held it like this, and my friends make fun of me. They were like, "You look like you smoking a cigarette," and I'm like, What does it matter how I hold it?" They like that's how people who smoke cigarettes hold fucking cigarettes.
so they told you to do it like
yes,
this.
they like just go like this.
Don't people
Those
do
are
it like that because
ignorant
it's a
people.
roach?
Straight hood.
No, that's when it's like when you try to
Nah,
hold it with your.
But even if it's, I mean, spliffs don't be this long, but this is how you fucking hold it.
Maybe
Why?
with the grabber.
This is no one does that. I'm sorry, Rico. No one does that.
But no, but I'm saying like because of, and again, you're 22. You know what I'm saying? So when I I was on the verge of really the last of seeing how like the old and the new, like I watched the whole trend, like it was like a gradient color, like it just I could see the whole blend. But like back then, women didn't smoke like this. And I would say if you smoke like this as a woman, it looked crazy for you. So nowadays, when I see it, because that's how my mind is programmed, it's like ew. Like automatically, it's like you got a little bit too much testosterone, shorty. Like you know what I'm saying? And then you watch when the girl smoke, her shoulders start changing.
Ew,
It's like
shut
yo, I'm
up.
like yo, like you don't.
all
It's like you just watch a woman transform. I don't know.
That is not true.
But I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna lie. I don't like smoking, so mine is a little biased. You feel me? My perception is a little biased, but that's just how I view it.
The shoulders.
All right, so
Like they should start, like they should drop a little bit. Their legs start opening up a little more, especially if they got jeans.
This is running late.
Okay.
I am like, I don't smoke anymore though. I'm sober.
Sober.
She's 3 days sober off everything.
One day.
Oh, it was Monday.
No. It was Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
We're so much days in, Marie.
It's
Damn.
Wait, why? What happened Saturday?
Monday, Monday, Tuesday,
Blackout.
Wednesday, Thursday, 5
Yes.
days.
Not doing anything no more.
Yeah.
Oh, you made some poor decisions.
No. I just blacked out. And I had a crazy hangover, like literally 24-hour hangover.
Ooh.
Did you wear heels?
First.
Yeah.
Did you take your heels off? Good job. So
Can't never be that drunk.
if you never
Put your bare foot
Walk
on
on concrete
No, I went
floors?
I went to two
Yeah.
parties. I had heels on at the first
I would
party.
crawl on my knees
But when I went
first.
to the second party, I put my
I'm
flats
not. Oh, do you?
Nah, you
Ooh.
can't do that. So look, I'm going with this new thing that Rich Paul's mother told him, and I believe in it. If
Oh
you-
my God.
If you wear the heels out, you must commit the whole way. If she does not commit, don't trust her.
You must have
When
quit.
shit get hard, she gonna walk out.
I have flats, like diamond studded flats specifically for when I go out to party and I need to change out of my heels. Like they're cute.
Yeah.
I'm changing.
No,
But
I'm
why not just have that from the beginning?
No, because you have to
Because the party's
have to-
over.
you have to walk
Her
in
party's
with
not over.
heels. Like you have to walk in with heels. You got to get your pictures with heels. But like once the party starts going and you start dancing and stuff, it's just like, all right, flats need to come out now.
Mm.
Hmm.
All I know.
You're annoying.
All you know is you're not taking off them heels.
Nah,
Okay?
no barefoot on the ground. Y'all.
Girl,
This weekend, I ain't gonna lie.
I would
that's-
rather die.
I don't do
You
weird.
take your heels off.
Me? No, we saw somebody. I know what I'm talking about. We saw somebody walking down the streets of Napa, shoes in her hand. I don't know why her dude just didn't pick her up or get an Uber or something. But
That's probably
I will-
regular for them. You probably seen that way too much times.
no, I know that's the problem.
Walking barefoot with shoes in your hand, that's 20-year-old nonsense.
on the ground.
On the sand is fine.
Oh,
Huh?
Lord.
Beach on the
No, on the
Beach is different, yeah.
downtown. Like
We're not talking about the beach. You're talking
And they be
about
walking-
the bottom of my feet are just really soft. I don't not wear like I always have on house shoes or socks or
I don't even have to
slippers or
do the
something.
thing when I
Me
get my
neither.
pedicure. Like I never have to
Me
do
neither. I
No.
was like, why you never do that?
because you don't need it.
Thank you for that. So
Oh,
here's
sorry.
here's another.
We got caught up.
No. That I want to say thank you because here is another. What is it like? Thing for the
Or guy.
guidelines, like
Recommendations.
recommendations when you're going on a date. Make sure that you pay attention to yours and their details. Like if a girl got on heels and she might have a nice expensive pair of heels, but you see the side of her heel, her actual heel, is a little chalky.
Okay.
You gotta understand that means that she's not paying attention to her details, right? So that's just like because that one thing could tell you a lot about this person. You know what I'm saying? If a guy is just walking in, he has dirty fingernails, and you don't pay attention, and then you get to his house and you wondering why his house smell like that. Well, maybe you would have saved yourself, another hour or two had you had saw his hands at the dinner table.
Mm.
You feel me?
Yeah, look and see if he got sugar babies in his ear. That's something that lets you know he don't wash his body good.
I wonder
Fingernails
if there's a
is definitely-
connection.
Fact.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll be looking for that in like anybody.
Me
I'd be
too.
like, they don't wash their ears.
I definitely do.
But a very
Mm.
clean person, I think, may be linked to success. Period. Successful relationship, successful life.
No.
Can you imagine a person who's super clean being single if they want to get married?
Well, not if you're
Yeah,
like
because
crazy.
at the
not
same
OCD
time, they
part.
could-
Not the
Okay.
OCD. Not the OCD. I'm talking about a regular human being who's just very clean.
Okay.
Nah, they win in life.
No, yeah,
That's me.
I feel to be very successful as a person, like just being a clean person. Like honestly, I took 3 days to clean my room. To
Yeah, she found a sidekick.
I did. I found my sidekick, my BlackBerry, all my old Androids. But
You're a
I
hoarder.
take the time to it's in a box. I have a hoarder box. It's in one box. But I take the time to take out all of my summer things and put back in my like fall winter clothes and fall decor up my room and like just get the fall vibe going. That it took me 3 days. But the vibe in my room, like when it was done, I just felt like
Felt good.
I felt on top of the fucking world.
Yeah. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm thinking about that because one of the things that I did observe, and this is like kind of different with like C-level executives and everything, it just seemed like they're so organized and clean. Right? They just very clean people, very neat people, and they always just have to have success. It's hard for me to imagine if a person is a clean person, I'm talking about haircut and clothes and just, whatever they gotta do. It's hard for me to imagine a person like that being single.
You know what I think it is? I actually think that it's not necessarily about being clean. It's about things being orderly.
Mm.
So it's like when things are in order, there's no confusion, there's no chaos. Your life is a little easier because you're not always looking for something. Because wherever you put it, that's where it's gonna be.
There's a flow, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like it means you don't waste a lot of time, trying to find something. You already know what's what, where it is. So I think it has to do with like things just being in order.
And it gives a sense of responsibility too, because honestly, I know somebody that used to just lose their shit all the time. And I'm like, how do you
How do
always
you
lose your
live?
car keys? Like,
Yeah.
why? Your car keys? Why is that always missing for
wallet.
you?
That's so weird.
But on the flip side, somebody who's, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, too clean, usually don't deal well with adversity. And when things are chaotic, life happens, sometimes they are not the one that you can depend on to figure it out. And you gotta probably assist way more than what you would think you should assist because,
they're too organized.
They-
But
yeah,
is it because they're
Because they
anal
don't know
about
how
the
to deal with
order?
chaos.
well, I think that, it's kind of funny because there's good and bad with everything, right?
Right.
So I think the
Extremes.
good thing is that when somebody is very clean is because they don't like chaos and they don't like things out of order. But a lot of times too, the same person also don't deal well with it.
Well,
Not just.
I think you have to have
prefer.
flexibility. Like you can't be like no wire hangers in this house. Like you can't go crazy.
not OCD.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
you can't
nah,
be
yeah.
extreme with it.
But I didn't
Like
have enough of the other
But Marie,
hangers.
I want to try to say. I want to just say this part, Rico.
like you can't be too extreme.
Rico, from what you're saying,
I
can't.
playing devil's advocate, right?
Just a little sprinkle of chaos.
Playing devil's advocate. I want to go with what Marie said. off of what Erin said. They were saying
Off of
flow.
what Amanda said.
No,
I'm weak.
between the two of you guys.
I don't know. I'm just.
No, it was Erin says
anything.
it's like your life is in order. Then Marie says it flows. So do you think that not being a clean person is what's creating a blockage? You're blocked. Amanda said that once she got clean, you got unblocked. You just felt a different flow,
Mhm.
a different flow of energy because energy got to come out of you, but you also have to receive it. It's a two-way street with energy. You have to attract what you want, but at the same time, you got to put energy out. But if your shit is all messy, how
You
could
putting energy into that?
But no, it's blocking the good
Oh,
energy from
yeah.
coming in.
Okay.
Or clutter. Like,
From that perspective, I'm asking.
you could be
Not
organized.
the chaotic part, but just from that perspective.
Now that happens. You ever? I mean, I don't know if y'all, but I'll be honest. There's been times where my room was a disaster before I went on a vacation. My
Ooh.
bedroom,
Oh,
and I got back, and I was like, "Fuck!" And you feel it. It's
I-
like, damn.
I-
So now,
I just
deep
did it.
Clean.
yeah. So now, it's like I have to. Before I go on a vacation, I gotta have my room spick and span. I gotta have the house nice because when I come
Absolutely.
back,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a breath of fresh air rather than a shit. I'm back to reality.
Mhm.
You know, it like kind of ruined the whole vacation. Like,
Like the last 3 days, I literally been like just trying to get my room back in order.
because you were on a high before.
Yeah, I was feeling good. I came back from my trip, and all I kept thinking about was like, damn, look at that basket of clothes. Damn, let me get the suitcase. 'Cause I don't even bring the suitcase in my room.
I do
'Cause
that
I can't look
before-
at it,
I do
like-
that before a couple of occasions, like vacations. Definitely, I always got to clean out before I go anywhere. Like, but before my birthday, I got to make sure my room is clean. I don't know about y'all. Before Christmas, I don't know. I got to make sure the room is clean. I don't know. I
The
just do that.
holidays.
Yeah.
That's so fucking
Gotta
funny.
paint.
So we got to wrap up because I got to reset the set.
Cool.
How far is it?
All right, guys. See you later.
Oh, wrap up and then I'll.
Honestly, I hope that we were able to give y'all some like actual useful, concrete recommendations that y'all can potentially use as you go forward in your dating lives, or even just like relationships in general, platonic, with your parents, with your siblings, with your significant other. At this point, we're just kind of over the gender wars. Well, I am. Let me not speak for everybody. We just over the gender wars, and going forward is solutions.
Right. We're just trying to help.
Yeah, if you ain't talking about solutions, ain't nobody trying to hear it at this point, because I think, y'all, you tired of it?
I'm
You
so
tired?
fucking tired of it.
We're not helping anything by not, putting forward solutions. So I hope that there's something that we've said that you guys can take with you that will help you all going forward. So thanks for tuning in. As always, it's the crew from Made the Table. We love y'all. Thank you for supporting us. Make sure you subscribe. There's Datebox, YouTube subscriptions, Facebook membership.
Guys, join our YouTube membership. We put in all the BTS content on our YouTube membership.
everything. So we appreciate it.
And we got a show coming up.
Oh yeah.
Well, is this gonna drop?
Oh yeah.
before?
Say it.
So, well, I've seen the
November
text message.
21st.
November
Yeah,
21st.
November
November 21st, we have our first official live show. 8 at the Table will be doing a
In
live
Brooklyn, right?
in Brooklyn,
Yep.
333 Lounge, November 21st. So look out. We're going to give you guys the information. But yeah, it's going to be
Y'all
fun.
been asking for a very long time.
And we are delivering.
finally.
Gonna be epic.
Finally. So make sure y'all look for information coming up soon. All right.
And buy your tickets
Yeah.
now.
Don't be calling asking for no
Yeah.
free tickets unless you just calling Rico.
Don't
Don't be calling
Yeah,
me. for
don't
no
call
free
me
tickets.
either.
Don't be calling
The
me.
tickets are going to sell out fast.
Yeah.
So you guys definitely pick up those tickets once we put them up.
All right. Peace.